Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. In lightly dystopian, utopian news, a company by the name of Marathon Digital has begun mining Bitcoin. Cool. However, they're using power that's being generated from methane gas that has been siphoned off of a landfill. The 280 kilowatt off-grid pilot project is operating in Utah. So one, I know I heard someone say it. Everyone else in the world pronounces it methane, except for Americans who say methane. Cool, got that. I say methane. The second part is that for those of you who do not know, there are landfills that exist around the world in every single country. And that's because people don't recycle properly. So basically, they heap everything on top of each other and then kind of fill it with dirt, expecting that the next generation will be able to take care of the mess. However, the problem is that if it's not covered, or even if it is covered a lot of times, it produces a gas, and that gas is methane, and that is very no bueno for the environment. So what they're trying to do is, I saw this article everywhere, and it was touted as a kind of like a solution to a problem, but the problem can easily be fixed if we just took care of things. So the idea is that, well, it exists and it's there, and we're going to make more of it. So therefore, we should be able to use the methane and basically be able to mine Bitcoin, which then was used as like Bitcoin saving the environment. But then you go back in time and you're like, if we had just recycled Marathon teamed up with a company called Nodal Power for the project. Nodal Power was launched in November 2022 and produces energy from landfill gas in the southwestern United States and in Texas. It raised around $13 million in a seed round in August to operate 2 sites, one of which includes a data center. I guess that's the image of it right there. I assume it's absorbing the gas from the air or from another. Marathon said in a statement that the project is part of a broader initiative being conducted by the company to validate its ability to capture methane emitted from landfills, convert it into electricity, and then use that electricity to power Bitcoin mining operations. Fred Thiel, who is the CEO, said, "Should the results of the pilot project meet our expectations, we look forward to expanding our footprint in this area and helping landfill operators and others meet their environmental targets." So it seems, like I said, it's dystopian because we have the problem. Lightly utopian because they're figuring out a way to use the problem. So we have seen before that there are a multitude of countries and companies who are mining Bitcoin through hydropower, renewable sources, solar energy. We have the people from El Salvador who are mining it with volcanic steam energies. I forgot exactly what the term is. And now we found a brand new way. So it's not that Bitcoin is saving the planet so much as people have become very clever in their ways that they can create electricity. So therefore, this is where this comes from. And we could potentially in the future see a situation where, which I guess seems completely plausible as well, where a lot of people who operate landfills make extra money on the side by also using the additional methane to be able to create Bitcoin. And cool. It's dystopian, but at least, we're trying to find a way to make things better. That's the Marathon gas news. Wonderful. All right. Okay. Let's move on. Also so the next couple of news is all going to tie in together because everything fell into place like it always does within the news. Coinbase, a cryptocurrency exchange I would have never known, reported a net loss of $2 million in Q3 of this year, despite rising revenue and a drop in trading volume, according to the details of a recent shareholders letter that was circulated at the beginning of November. Two things. For some reason, once again, any time that there is negative layoff, company, bad business news, it ends up being popular within the cryptocurrency space. It is reported that apparently Coinbase had a slight net loss of just a few $1 million, and I say a few million because they are known to make billions of dollars. And therefore, that ended up being popular. There were a lot of articles discussing, like, is this the end for Coinbase? Is Coinbase going down? And I'm like, it's, calm down. The market hasn't recovered yet, and therefore we can only assume that they're not going to be raking in $100 billion per day as the market is down. The other side of the news is that they actually exceeded some expectations because they were expecting not to have made as much money and therefore, what have you. It says, however, the exchange reduced its net loss compared to the same period last year, which was $545 million. That's a big loss. The company's total revenue was $674 million, an increase of 14% compared to last year, with $334 million coming from subscriptions and services and $288 million from transaction revenue. So here's where the tie-in actually comes in. Now bear with me here because I had to kind of connect the dots for myself. For those of you who have a tinfoil hat, please put them on right now. So there has been a lot of Coinbase is amazing news over the course of the last year. Coinbase is doing bad. We need your help. Coinbase has done this, so-and-so SEC. SEC did this. We need the great community. We have a new blockchain. We have a new this. We have a new so-and-so. Coinbase's revenue has been dropping, across the board, every company. And this is why we've seen a massive increase in the amount of companies who have been, who have been releasing new products and releasing new things and making new stablecoins, making new chains, in an effort to kind of pick up the slack from the money that they're not making when it was 2021. And as we move into 2024, 2025, and everyone's making buku monies all over again, of course, things will be honky-dory. However, at the moment, the really weird stuff happens to be like Coinbase trying to do all these things to make sure to let you know that they still exist so that they can get a portion of your money. Remember, it's been about 10 days or so. I want to say a good 10 days, roughly around the time that Bitcoin began to move up on the first rumors of the Bitcoin ETF. There was a lot of news, and I told you at the end of one of my videos, there was a lot of news about Solana, and I said, please pay attention to everything that's going on because something really fishy is happening with Solana. For those of you who do not know, we had news that Bitcoin might have the potential ETF. Bitcoin went up by $7,000. We had some rumors about XRP's lawsuit ending and Garlinghouse did something and there was somebody baked some bread. XRP's price went up. We had Ethereum go up by a tiny bit. There was also some Cardano news. Cardano moved up a little tiny bit. There was some EOS news. EOS moved up a tiny bit. But the only news about Solana was its price increase. So before the 10-day period, there was news that during the previous trial of Sam Bankman-Fried, and before that, we had heard that apparently the reason why this is the story, this is the legend, that apparently the only reason why Solana was doing so well before in the past was because that Alameda and Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX actually owned a huge amount of Solana, and the legend goes is that they were buying up more of it. You buy up more of it, there's less on the market, therefore the price will rise, etc., etc. When FTX collapsed, the price of Solana began to collapse as well. Why? Because the rumors then were, first of all, one, it had been in some way tainted by Sam Bankman-Fried. And two, the other thing was that apparently they were selling off a large portion of their Solana to recuperate funds. They had to pay people back billions of dollars, and therefore we saw the inner workings of Solana being sold off, therefore to be able to, get money back for the FTX company. I go over cryptocurrency news daily, and that's something very important to understand. I've been in now. I understand if I meet people in other situations who aren't any of you. You know what I do daily. However, other people do not. So I come into contact with a lot of people who often find out that I'm in crypto, and then they have questions. But the questions never satisfy them because they don't know that I look at crypto news daily. I absorb everything. I make videos. I put the content out there for all of you to absorb as well so you can get the actual news that's currently taking place. It's one thing if I was making a video a week, 2 videos a week, maybe 1 video every 2.5 weeks. That's something different. When I talk about every single day, it's because I literally, in essence, basically know the inner workings of everything that's happening because I make, once again, daily is a very important word there. Going over news daily in the last 3 to 4 weeks, there has been no Solana news. None. The only news that there was is someone put out an article talking about that Solana is now working with Amazon. And if you read the article, it's the same exact thing, similar to Tron back in 2018, 2019. Solana's not working with Amazon. They're paying Amazon to use their Amazon Web Services. Besides that, the only other news is that Solana's rising in price. Solana's going up in price. Solana's going to hit this number. All new time high for Solana? How is Solana going so high? Over and over and over. And I'm like, but where's the bread and butter? Like, where's the actual thing that's going on? The reason why I said all these things are going to connect together and why we're currently talking about Coinbase and their, I don't want to say money problems. Coinbase is doing just fine. However, I thought it quite interesting when these articles began to pop up. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says the rise in Solana's price is driven by Coinbase. And I was like, what in the world could that possibly mean? Data provided by Paris-based crypto research firm Kaiko, Kaiko, revealed an important detail behind the significant price increase of Solana, which has risen by over 50% in the past 2 weeks and nearly 70% in the past month. The data shows that the US-based major crypto exchange is a significant source of growth for the altcoin. Since the 25th of October, the cumulative volume delta CVD of Solana increased by approximately $1 million on Coinbase, indicating that there was a net inflow into Solana of just $1 million. Now, normally, when other coins have money flowing into them, it's typically 300 million, 240 million, 1 point something billion over the course of a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 month period. We can see the price increasing. So imagine my surprise when all the news that we've been getting is that Solana is rising in price. That's why I told you to put your tinfoil hat on. That Solana is rising in price, not because of actual usage, not because of actual partnerships or any other metrics that they might have, but because $1 million of the cumulative volume delta went into Solana. 1 million. While the CVD turned positive on Binance and Kraken earlier this week, it has been negative and declining on South Korean-based cryptocurrency exchange Upbit for the past weeks. Basically, what I think is going now, and I say this in the most logical way possible. I've been trying to tell people about Solana for as long as I possibly can. This is a coin that sprouted up out of nowhere and is clearly a corporation coin. For those of you who don't know what a corporation coin is, Bitcoin, and it sounds cringy, is in essence a coin for the people. It's made by someone or a group of people released into the public to kind of grow organically regardless of what the banks and other things might have in store for it. Solana and a number of other chains were created by companies and are hyper-centralized. Their entire point is, like many other coins, is that we are here to destroy Ethereum. We are better than Ethereum. I saw tons of articles I've been reading around about how many transactions per second Solana can do. The amount of transactions per second that they can do, are capable of, only happens with centralization. Only. Look into it. I don't have time to sit here and explain the complexities of all these things to you. It is because of centralization. Everything that we've been hearing about this coin has completely rubbed me the wrong way. When the third, 1, 2, 3, time that this coin, the chain broke, it stopped working, they were no longer processing transactions. And the third time that we heard that an entity, had to restart the blockchain, I was like, this is a database. This isn't an actual cryptocurrency. This is something made by a company who controls basically the entire thing, the inner workings of it. And they kind of, you get my entire point. And then upon the news that the price has been 70% in the last month. For those of you who do not know, Solana has nearly no major partnerships. Put your hand down because I'm going to explain, because I just heard someone suck their teeth. There's a dramatic difference in a partnership with Microsoft, with JP Morgan Chase, with you name it, a multitude of other companies, and we're going to go over all of that in 1 second, I promise you. The partnerships that Solana has are things that were made for Solana that they partnered with. So I make TMI chain. I tell everyone to use TMI chain because TMI chain is amazing. I start working with 5 of you and I give you money to make TMI chain based products. You make TMI NFT, you make TMI real estate website, you make TMI balloons, you make TMI soda platform. And then I announce that I'm partnering with all of you because you have made something exclusively for Solana that is going to go on top of Solana, that's going to build the Solana blockchain and ecosystem. When you look around on Solana's website and you look at their partnerships and the people who are using them, this is why I love the internet. All the information is that these are companies that were made exclusively for Solana who are now working on and with Solana to build up their ecosystem. Now look at these images. The only one that you might recognize is Circle, but Circle partners with everyone. I can almost assure you 99% of you have not heard of Tiny Dancer, Jitto Labs, Hello Moon, Wormhole, QuickNode, Pyth, Orca, Franked, Mango, something called Decaf, and Sphere and Helio. Now, keep all that in mind. We've had these metrics before. Sorry if I'm screaming. We've had these metrics before from a lot of different coins where they show that these coins are being used. Solana is not in any way, shape, or form being used as much and will never get as close to usage as Bitcoin and Ethereum currently and will ever have. A lot of the times when there is Solana news and I don't bring it to you, it's normally because there's always an announcement of a new partnership. And I read through the articles because everyone's talking about it. And they're a brand new company who just launched and they got some kind of funding from Solana, or they worked with this person who used to work for Solana. And I'm like, that's really weird that all of you have the exact same backstory over and over and over. The red flag for everyone, the gigantic red flag the size of an entire country, should have been the 11th 11th time that this database broke down and had to be restarted. And the amount of articles that then began to pop up afterwards from a number of news publications about how Solana's back at it, Solana's stronger than ever. And I'm like, if Bitcoin had broken down once, you would have fled. The news would have been, do not ever use this chain again. Heaven forbid XRP at any point had a 51% attack, had a major slowdown, or had stopped working, and we had news that Ripple had to reboot the XRP blockchain, XRP would be at 1 cent right now. The price would have completely collapsed. Upon hearing that constantly, this chain that was made by a corporation and other wealthy individuals keeps collapsing, keeps falling down, doesn't have any real partnerships, doesn't have any real usage. You can have usage from these apps and these dApps and people using them, but that's not organic. Now, on the other hand, for those of you who have never heard, now this is, final point here. For those of you who have never heard of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, I'm going to show you some of the companies who are working and partnered with Ethereum in an organic manner, in that they saw years ago that blockchain was taking off. These are not companies that were created because of Ethereum. These companies existed. They saw what Ether was and they said, we are going to build on top of your blockchain. Now, there's a slight difference. Remember the other ones we were going over? Mango and Jupiter Ag, whatever that's called, and Wormhole. Let me know if you noticed the difference. So for Ethereum, on this one image, it's difficult to find an image of all of them because I believe there are over 500 companies working with Ethereum. We have BBVA, we have BP, we have BNY Mellon, we have CME Group, we have Credit Suisse, we have ING, we have Intel, we have JP Morgan, we have Microsoft, we have Santander, we have Reuters, you have UBS. You see how it's a different kind of tinge when it comes to the partnerships that are actually out there. So long story short, because I can feel the rant building within my spirit. There's something happening behind the scenes where people are desperately trying to pump the price of Solana in an effort to get you to throw your money into it. One of the very normal things that has been normalized within this space and also in finance is if you can get something to pump long enough and you're not in that market, a lot of people then begin to believe that they've missed out. So they start throwing their money into something that they may not even know a lot about. And then the price of it actually ends up rising and it becomes this really weird self-fulfilling prophecy. I've been in this market for years daily. Solana is probably, and I told you this years ago, this is not a new revelation to you. Solana is by far one of the weirdest and red flaggiest projects I've seen in a long time. The last one was Tron. Something is wrong there. Prices, as we all know, do not indicate the actual value of a project. So at some point, we are going to get into 2024, 2025. Solana's coin's price is going to rise, and I'm going to have an avalanche. I already know. Avalanche of comments on here and on Twitter telling me how wrong I was. Look at how great Solana is. No one's using it. It keeps breaking. It gets restarted by a company. This is the same exact thing I told all of you before with DeFi. DeFi is not decentralized. These are companies who run it, who sometimes do not bank runs, what they call like rug pulls. I don't think there's going to be a rug pull for Solana because they've brainwashed enough people into thinking that it's something that's actually good. I'm telling you, something is incredibly wrong. I told you all of that before we even knew the entire Sam Bankman-Fried FTX holding a huge portion of FTX tokens. And the only reason why the coin was rising was because it was being held by FTX and they were buying more to increase the price. Yeah, that's all the Coinbase and Solana seems to only be rising because of a tiny amount of money being put into Coinbase news. I'm telling you, no one's using it. I'm telling you. Okie dokie. All right. Okay. Let's move on. I'm telling you something's not right there. The National Bank of Georgia, the country, the NBG, has selected blockchain partner payment. You know them very well. They are called Ripple. Yep, the National Bank of Georgia has chosen Ripple as the official technology partner for the development of their central bank digital currency. Yeah, of course, this was also incredibly big news. We have had news over the course of the last couple of months now that, despite the lawsuit against them from the SEC, Ripple is still doing business overseas. That bothered me so much in the summer that every article was like, despite what's going on with, they're doing it because of the SEC. They got tired of waiting around for the US to finally, do something right for them. So they went overseas. And now Ripple is apparently working with dozens, that is more than 24. 1 dozen is 12. Dozens is dozens of banks around the world, central banks, who are trying to make their own central bank digital currency. And many of them are in talks with and or testing the XRP blockchain. Apparently I believe there were already 12 who were using it. I think some of them we weren't allowed to know the names of. And now we have another country who is officially going to be using Ripple technology. In a statement, Ripple said the partnership would include implementing and deploying the Digital Lari pilot initiative through the Ripple Central Bank digital currency platform. The National Bank of Georgia will utilize this innovative CBDC platform to evaluate potential applications of the Digital Lari, determining its advantages to the government sector, enterprises, and individual retail users. Before being designated as the technology partner, Ripple underwent a thorough and meticulous selection procedure. In September, the NBG disclosed their intentions to advance their central bank digital currency project by introducing a limited access live pilot environment. And there's a little image of it right there. Yes, incredible. Gigantic news. And I know that only some people end up paying attention to any type of Ripple and or XRP news. It boggles the mind. You are hungry. You haven't eaten in days, and I present a platter to you of old eggs. And I mean, they smell absolutely terrible. You look at one of the eggs, you think it said something to you, like, is that egg talking? Like, why is it looking in my direction? Eggs don't have eyes. And then you look at the other plate, and it's a gorgeous spread of French toast and any other food you might want to eat. I'm hungry right now. That's why I said French toast. Now let's swap those out for a second. Imagine the eggy plate is Solana. The only thing you hear about this is that their new partnerships are basically nonsense. They're companies that were created probably by some type of initiative within their ecosystem to be able to make sure that people know that Solana is doing something and therefore rising in price and you should be buying it. But the plate smells a little weird. And then you look to the other side where the French toast was, and you're like, whoa, Ripple is working with dozens of central banks around the world, and dozens of companies are buying up XRP all the time, especially major banks around Asia to use them. It's not 2017 anymore, and this isn't just speculation. I think I'm gonna go for the eggy, smelly plate. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. And then you bite one of the eggs, and it's just gross, and you're like, oh. I think I'm gonna have another bite of the egg. By your 13th bite, you know it's nasty. I don't want any more eggs. You look at the other French toast, and you're like, but there's syrup on there. I don't know if I'm going to bite that dirty egg once again. If this was 2017, how do I even, I'm going to finalize my thoughts here. In conclusion, I don't understand how people can continuously make believe that Ripple isn't doing incredible things around the world. We are going to see central bank digital currencies whether we want them to be around or not. These central bank digital currencies will probably last for a long time. I just assume the world's doing it. It's going to be there. If this one company has announced that they're working with dozens of countries who are going to be using the XRP ledger, using XRP for transactions to send billions of dollars around the world, in what reality do you look at Solana and go, Solana's the winner? I sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. The ridiculousness in this space, it's growing more and more every single day. Regardless of the XRP news, regardless the logic in front of you. You are hungry and you are presented with 2 plates and you keep eating what's rotten. You keep going after Tron. You keep going after Solana. You go after all Sushi Swap, Unicorn Swap, Boop Swap, all these different things. All these different projects collapse, fall apart, and disappear, and you refuse to look in front of you. It is miraculous. I remember years ago, anytime Bitcoin did anything spectacular, people were using it. I mean, like in the very olden days of early Bitcoin news. The amount of people who refused to acknowledge Bitcoin and bought Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's Vision and Bitcoin Gold as their main coins. Flabbergasted. When we first heard about the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance in 2018, 2019, I was like, well, that should basically solidify it for everyone. We have all these mega companies. How many people remember the amount of people, anytime that any new coin was called a rival to Ethereum, people gobbled it up. These coins are all gone now. When will you realize that you keep making the wrong choices in this market? It doesn't make any sense. It logically does not. But, free open market, so everyone's free to choose how much money they want to lose. I guess that's how it goes. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I do sincerely hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.